Okay. This, as I said before, does require that there be two servers. Oh, I'm way in the index. Is log shipping the very last thing in here? Okay, so I'm going to do exactly like the demo, and then what we'll do is we'll try to do it on one of our other databases. I'm going to do a little tiny bit of it in SQL, but most of it I'm going to do with the graphical interface, because when I was doing it in my office, I could not make it work with the SQL, but I could with the graphical. And it's mostly a matter of paths. I couldn't get my path string right. So the first thing I'm going to do is just to create a database. So I'm going to create database, and as I said, I'm going to do it pretty much the way that they do it in here, which is just the they call it LS demo. Okay, we'll do this and then we'll go through. And then they do, although I don't think we need to do this because I think it's the default, but they have alter database LS demo, set recovery full. So set recovery full. They just want full recovery, because what log shipping is, you have to be recording your log in order to ship a log, right? So I'm going to just run those two things. And if we look in their databases, probably have to refresh.
It's supposed to be under master. What if you do it under?
It should actually be fine.
All right.
Because the system is smart enough to know that if you say create a database, right, it goes to master.
Okay.
So there's LS demo, and then if we look at the properties of it, it should be LS demo. It should have a log. So if we go to files, I'm looking for options. Yeah, so it has full recovery mode. It might have had that anyway. Now we're going to be back in here in a minute. But notice that this is where you can do the transaction log shipping. There's an option in the properties there. But before I do that, I want to put a place for the files to go. And there's going to be a couple, I'm going to add a couple of folders to C drive. So I'm just going to add a new folder. This is really just to have a place for the logs to go. This is much more complicated if in like the normal world, your servers are not on the same drive, or the same machine. Because then what you'd have to do is make a shared folder. Do you guys know how to make a shared folder? You want me to share it? We don't need to share it because they're on the same machine. But I'm going to say this is LS demo. I'm also going to make a folder LS demo copy. So just a new folder. I'll show you how to share, although you probably know how. Oops, not like that. Right click, properties. And I don't know why it says read only on this. We do want that gone, so I'm going to apply that if it will. I don't know. We need sharing if you wanted to share it. And then when you share it, you have to decide who you're going to share it with. And you could share it with everyone, or you could share it with a particular user. I'll just share it with everyone. I'll add that, and then I'll share. So that's supposedly people can get to this with a network, path from another machine because it's shared. So if they're on the same network, they should be able to get there. Now, the other thing you can do in here is you can go in and you can customize the security. One of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the permissions, and I'm going to allow write permissions because it needs write permissions. And I'll apply that. So what I did,
Okay.
I went to security,
Yep.
edit,
Yep.
and then down here, I gave them right position. So
if I don't give it to the right position, what's happening?
So I did it to go to properties, security, or sharing security, and then I did edit. And then down here, I clicked on write.
Why do you need it to the right so other people can write it? Or?
So the SQL Server is going to write a file to this position.
Oh, okay, that's why I did it.
I don't have an everyone option.
Yeah,
I might.
So this sharing is really unnecessary in our context. It would be necessary if you're coming in from another machine. So you probably are okay. Yeah, you must have somebody like guest.
I have 1 million, which I have to go on with.
Oh. But if you don't have everyone, that's fine. I mean, I don't know that you need to share it, actually. I don't think it needs to be shared for this. As I said, it would need to be shared if we were on two different machines.
Do you do that for the copy folder?
As I said, it doesn't need to be shared, but if it was on different machines, yes, you'd have to do that.
Cool.
So those folders, basically what happens with log shipping is your log gets copied to a folder that the other server can see. Right, and then you can restore from that. We do need to back up the actual database. Now, this in the book, this database has no content. It's one of the reasons why it would be nice to do it with one of the databases that has content. The process isn't, but so we could real quickly just back up. I think we want to use ls demo, and then back up. Do you have to say database? Database ls demo to disk equals c ls demo. Is that right? It's not complaining.
Isn't it Steve Sum?
It says access is denied.
Steve Sum.
Oh, but I didn't give up. ls demo back. Which will probably work. Yes. So the path, let me just drop this so it looks.
I have access.
You have access?
Denied.
And did you do the dot back? So maybe go in and look at the permissions on it.
It's not working. Yes, demo. Demo. Nope.
Keeps going back to the
Right. Click on that.
I sent a
And
lot.
then you did say file.
Yeah.
It didn't.
It doesn't say that.
Let's see.
Share it with somebody.
How do you wanna ship the
Which
file?
permissions without
That's the
security?
What do you mean?
the file name you said on drives.
That is a file.
Type correctly.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, it fell.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I have something on my mind.
Okay.
Or, is that where your thing is? Is it
It's not back up to dick. It's back up to disc. Sorry, the wrong dick.
No, you don't.
Steve, why didn't it work?
It would.
Yes, it did. I just spelled disc wrong, I will say that much.
The property, did you,
Well, you have to, in the folder that you store it, you have to give it writability.
yeah, I did that.
Oh, God. I'm tired. I really am. I bet yours is working on both.
Yeah, got it. I see that, I like that, right.
Oh, the right,
Yeah,
okay. I think it was just because you were an administrator.
I know, that's always the.
First, the administrator, but then it's like, after we did that,
That new
the new
code,
code.
yeah.
So it's like
You have to
other
add the
things,
If you
like
do,
stuff.
Mhm.
I didn't really do.
Yeah.
Not the
That
denial.
was hard.
No, the denial. They have to do add. So, sharing.
Or you can try to back
Sharing, you got business, yeah.
the graphic backup. It doesn't have to be. I mean, how many had permissions issues?
Yeah, you have to get everyone, you have to get everyone to share, to writing, otherwise it's
Right.
just mine.
It worked?
And then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't change.
Use the-
okay. Oh, he didn't change anything. He just wanted to see on the options and to see if it's shared. Like the options.
Yes.
No,
Sorry.
And then yeah, the covering. That's what he was checking.
I'm getting better like at the end of the quarters.
Then you should make it working. But yours is denied, that's why maybe.
Oh. Yes, it's a pages extras. 4 pages of like nothing. Yes, well, you know what it has, so
Very good.
basic structure of the database, probably meta information about the database itself.
Okay.
But yeah, so each page is what, 8K? And also the default database, because we didn't specify any size, it's gonna come up to about 2 megs anyway. So it may just be what's filling that at 2 megs. All right, so we have the database, we backed it up. Now I am going to go to the properties again. And as I said, it's not a hefty bunch of SQL here, but I could never get the path permissions to work. I probably can do this without looking at it, but just in case. So the first thing, if we go down to transaction log shipping, the very first thing you have to do is enable it. Now I'm wondering if I have to make the connection to the, well, we can do that in here, I think. So the backup settings, notice that by default, and you can change the schedule, it occurs every day, 15 minutes, every 15 minutes between 12 a.m. and 11:59 p.m. So basically every 15 minutes all day long.
So you can change it for the quick backup setting.
Yeah, if we go into backup settings, and we do kind of want this. So we should be able to do, now we'll see if this works. Steve, and this would be different, but whatever your shared folder was, ls demo. And then I'm also going to do, and I think I might have ended up just leaving it like this. I'm putting both of those in there, yeah.
Server name, Steve, server name?
That's my machine name, yeah. Well, so the reason I put that is when I shared that file, if we go to the properties, sharing, notice it says, I don't know if you can see it, //Steve/some. So that's its share name. That's why it's there.
Can you show on the sticks?
Yeah, so do you guys, is this too small? Do you need it zoomed a little?
No, for that one, it's,
All right, let me get the zoom. Yeah, I just need to get the magnifier.
Sure.
It's my path, I just don't
Sure.
want
So this is just, this is the network path for me. On your laptops, it'd be different. But it should say it in the file properties. And then this is the physical path.
You said, where did you find that path, just to check?
It's in the files.
Okay.
I mean, so actually in your file folder, where if you right click on that and do properties,
Oh,
and then look under sharing.
under sharing. So it is right.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to check. All right.
So, and then it has other things in here, like, do you want to you can choose how often to delete the files, because it's going to be backing them up every 15 minutes, right? You can, the backup job, remember the jobs thing? That's basically what we're doing, when we did the management stuff, we're creating a job. A couple of things, none of this will run if we don't turn on server agent. So we should do that. Okay, now there's another piece here, I think. Is it schedule? It's hard for me to see when this.
It's in the right side of
Yeah,
the name.
I don't know if schedule is what we want to look at next, though. Maybe. So I think it's actually just okay at this point.
Oh, just okay.
I can find it down there.
I know. It seemed to help.
Okay, I gotta unzoom so I can see what I'm doing. So my thing is down below the edge of the screen. So, okay. And then I think we need to add. I'm just trying to remember if this is the thing we would, yeah, add. All right, and we need to connect to the secondary database.
Where was it at? But
It's down below the secondary server instances. So I'm going to connect, and this time I don't want to connect. I want to connect to the local host, right? This assumes you have two instances. They don't have to be local hosts. It could be something else.
So it could be localhost. if you-
Yeah, it could be local host. Steve Sum is the equivalent of local host.
Oh, so the other.
I only have the option of my
Yeah,
database.
You don't have another server?
I don't either.
Well, if you don't have another server, I guess just because you need two servers. You could try to do it to the same
Well, I
database.
have two, it looks like I have two of the same name.
Mm-hmm. And a local host.
Do you have a local? Yeah, if you have local host, do local host. You don't have a local host, so.
I just have two of the same name database.
Secondary database will be ls demo.
So just to click for the Steve summary, right?
Yeah, we need to give it, I think it's under restore options. We need to give the path to the other database. So I'm going to go to Program Files, Microsoft SQL Server. This one, instead of the 226, is the one that's MS SQL Server without a number and data. So it is Program Files, Microsoft SQL Server, MSSQL12.MSQL Server /MSQL.data.
I don't have the MS.
What?
This is the path that you're.
The path is for the default SQL Server.
Which is you're using as your secondary.
Yes. So localhost is my, so when I look at, so I'm going to go back.
Yeah, can you show under Microsoft SQL Server?
Right. So these are all things that they all have the ITC226, right? This one has MSQL Server. So it doesn't have a number there. It's not named. So if you have two named instances, it'll be the other named instances. And then under MSQL, actually even if you have SQL Express, it should work.
Is this for the copy files tab? Is that where the path is going?
It goes under Initialize Secondary Database, Restore Options. So when you click on Restore Options,
Oh, you saw something, got it.
and the path needs to go in both of those.
And which, has to be that path, the data.
Right,
path.
because that's where the database will be.
For which, the first server or the server that's getting
The
copied?
receiving server.
I wasn't able to access the data folder when I went in there, but I just typed it in there. It said
Yeah.
you don't have permission.
But if you click OK, it gives you permission.
Oh, okay. Do I need to click OK?
No, you just need the path.
All right.
So it says SQL Express instance of the second service.
Program files.
But so should I not have chosen that? It's-
Well, do you have, you don't have a second server,
So
right?
that's the second.
So I'm not sure if you can
So
do
we
this
need
one
to
while
see
installed.
some of
I
it.
think you can install a couple of
So on SQL Server, yeah, that's.
Oh, no, I don't. Okay.
times.
Oh, I know which one.
So you never know.
Yeah.
You don't need the databases in the actually. Might give it a shot. 2012 might work.
Yeah.
All right, so these are the paths where the files for the other database will be the copy of the database. You guys with me so far? We'll do this again. They should be the same. Well, they don't have to be the same, but in our case, we're just using the default locations. if you had set up your database where your log, which would be more intelligent, where your log files were somewhere else, then you would want to specify one. The first one would be where the database file is, and the second one would be where the log file is. And you don't have to specify the names of them. You just have to specify the folders. Oh, okay.
So it says create, it will create the secondary database if it doesn't exist.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
So what it will do is it will create it from the backup. Where does it say that for sure?
In parentheses,
Create the secondary
it says yes, generate the full backup.
Right, and create the secondary database if it doesn't exist.
So-
Which is what we're gonna let it do. So we have LS demo on our main, the server we started on. It'll make a copy of that on the other.
Yeah, okay.
And it can do it by restoring the backup. Now you could also go in and manually put it there. So you have some choices there. You can restore an existing backup of the primary database into the secondary database and create it if it doesn't exist. Or you can do no, the second database is already up and running, basically, initialized. All right, so it seems to me like there's something, oh yes, we have to go through these. Copy files, destination folder for copy files. I'm going to do this as C:, I did not, this may fail, C:, ls demo copy. Remember we made that other folder? I didn't share it though, so we'll see if it works. Might have to go back and share it.
Oh, for the other one.
Yeah, and I think that's all I need on this one. Restore transaction log, no recovery mode. I think everything else is okay here. Now, it's left in no recovery. Do you guys remember when we did backups and some of the backups failed and you were in a recovering mode where you can't touch the database, it just says recovering? In this case, that's what you want. Because it leaves it receptive to constantly have the backup files, the log files shipped to it. It just keeps shipping them. And what happens is if your main server fails, you need to go to the other one and complete the restore with recovery. And then all those log files will be added to the database and it will be ready to use. This is not a perfect failover for a couple of reasons. As I said, it's the cheapest way to do a failover because you could lose a bit of log between the first one crashing and the other if it didn't ship to the second. The other thing is that it takes a couple of moments to restore the backup, to finish the restoration and bring the other one up. Perfect failover is more, nobody has to be involved with this. It just happens. One fails, the other's there, but that's more expensive because you have to have a cluster. You have to have multiple machines running in sync and, different things. So I am going to, I think everything here is okay. And I think I'm going to do okay. And it's setting this up right now. If we're lucky, it'll have success all the way down.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for this to back up every 15 minutes the way it's supposed to, in here, I need to come down here and activate the server agent. So I'm just going to start it. The SQL Server agent. Because if it's not running, none of the backups will happen. None of the log shipping will happen.
Is it that you just did start or?
I just started the SQL Server agent. Because if you look under it, and you look under, so we have alerts and we have jobs. I'm going to open up jobs, and there should be one for the log. Maybe. What? LS backup? I don't think that's it. Is oh yes, LS backup, log shipping backup, LS demo. So that's the job that's doing the log shipping. And it should have, if we look at it, I'm going to look at its properties. So it should have like the schedule occurs every 15 minutes. I don't think it has any alerts, but you could probably configure some alerts and other things for it if you want. So it should back things up. Now I want to show you, before we move on and try this also with a, I'm going to connect to the other database engine. And instead, so it will be Steve Sum. So I'll connect to it and look at the databases. And notice that we have an LS demo. And it is in the restoring state.
Do you have to turn on the server agent and the localhost?
You have to return on the server agent if you want it to actually ship the log every 15 minutes. So if you ever want to just try this, you could just either do another instance or use one of these machines. There's really, except for things like this, there's no good reason to have multiple SQL servers on your machine.
So you don't need to turn it on.
Well, I would turn it on just to do that. So in 15 minutes or so, we can check and see if it's there. I think that's my only database on Steve Sum. Yeah. You have a what?
Under the other database that you're using. So yeah, it must be Steve database. And then database snapshot.
Let's see if I have an alert.
Could you share the other copy over? Yeah. The copy. That's not your
Log shipping primary server alert. Log shipping secondary. Yeah.
And then add. No, you can never add. Everyone add.
And if I were to do well, it actually kind of makes sense that it would create an alert that it's so you could test to see if it's happening or not. So let's do, I just want to kill the Zoom for a moment. But there is so there's an LS alert.
Mm-hmm.
And if I go to view history, is that what you were looking at? Yeah. It gives an alert for each.
Oh, your job success and stuff.
Yeah.
So go to the
the job succeeded, et
You
cetera, et
just
cetera.
want the success screen?
Well, we can. I was gonna do one more, try to do it with like community assist or something. Yeah.
For
Yeah. Now, do you have both databases?
yeah, but I cannot change to when I use like the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it won't show in that.
So just cancel or do okay. And then up here, do connect, database engine, and then do local host. Well, I just do search with local host. With connect. There it is down below. So did you run? Well, let's go up here to the LS demo. Right
So
click,
it's like a job is like six or
Properties.
down.
transactional study. So that's backup settings. We do that, do okay. We could get rid of that, and go ahead and finish the ad. Yeah.
So when I use this one, it's better because it's a primary. So I use this one.
You know what, I think you might. Localhost and Steve Sim may be exactly the same machine names. So you may not have a second machine. That's okay, I mean, you can do it as show and tell if it's.
No, we would do,
So the jobs are basically just to show. It's just showing you that this is, so you could have somebody alerted if you wanted. And it allows you to look and make sure that the job executed properly. I was just looking to see what's in there. So we can look again in a few minutes to see if it actually runs on the schedule. Do you want to try to do this? So a lot of this is dependent on you having 2 copies of SQL Server. If you don't have 2 copies, it won't probably work. I'll just give you credit.
but it's working.
I figured it at the end of the world.
So you want to just a copy of the working one?
Yeah, well, as I said, let's try to do it with, yeah.
We created a local.
Windows is never case sensitive, unlike Linux or, I don't think Macs are case sensitive either, are they? I don't think Macs are case sensitive either. Linux is. It does, but I think that the shell is, yeah.
I think that's supposed to be secondary, yeah, so.
It's not.
That makes sense. Well, I mean, he also
SQL in MySQL is not case sensitive. The SQL commands are not case sensitive in MySQL. They are not. PHP is case sensitive. And it's possible that the values could be case sensitive. That's an option that you can turn on or off. But the SQL is not case sensitive in any context anywhere. Although it's a good practice to capitalize it, which I don't, as you can tell. The formatter.
We can have a bunch of video with this one. We don't have to do anything.
Yeah, so you're gonna probably just have to watch also. I was thinking that you didn't have to, because I think we ended up not installing a new edition, but just updating the existing one. This is the only real assignment in the whole thing that requires 2 servers.
Oh,
So,
okay. So yours is not sharing for the backup file and it works, right?
well, it is sharing the backup file. So,
Oh, okay.
if I go, so
Yeah, that's demo copy I'm talking about.
You didn't share it.
Did you share?
oh, I didn't share the copy, but I'm not sure there's anything in there either. Let's look.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I didn't share it, so I was wondering how the difference, you know.
So we have ls demo. So there's the log file. There's the back. Let's see what we got in ls demo copy. There's nothing in there right now. I was never sure exactly what that's doing because I think they're both reading from this.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't show up in the copy one?
Yeah, I mean, he had in the book there was this thing with a copy, but I was never clear in what it did because I think they're both reading from this.
Oh, that's funny.
The reason why they're both reading on this though is that they're both on the same machine, right? If they were on different machines, you'd have to have another folder on the other machine to make a copy of this. Notice that they're kind of time-stamped.
Mm-hmm. So if it's other machine, do you need to make a file too, or no?
On the other machine, you would need to make a folder for
Folder
it.
like that, yeah. Okay.
And then I think it would copy it.
So
Yeah.
if you make exact same, they would make it kind of copy automatically. So they do.
Yeah, it should. I'm not.
That not yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to look at that.
Okay.
This book, one of the problems with this book, the step by step, is it does these things, but it never actually fulfills it. Like it never actually takes you to the
The end.
restore part. Like
Yeah.
if your thing died, how would you restore the second one? I'm pretty sure that what all you'd have to do is right click on it, go to the restore options and restore that's what kind of what I want to do right now with
Okay.
Community Assist, and then we'll be done with this.
So we can just work on it.
Yeah, and then I was working on a presentation on open source databases. I was using something I'll show you afterwards.
Okay.
Microsoft just released a new product called Sway.
Mhm.
It's kind of like PowerPoint. It's like Storyboard where you drag and drop your pictures and videos and add text where you want. The advantage of it, and I haven't tested it on everything, is that Sway is supposed to automatically format for whatever medium you're doing it in. So if it's on a phone, it'll automatically be formatted for a phone. If it's on a tablet, it'll automatically format for a tablet. If it's in a web page, it's automatically a web page. It's a new product Microsoft released called Sway. It's free. It's a presentation software. It's a lot more free-flowing than PowerPoint.
Kind of weird swear.
I think sway in the sense of being able to sway somebody's opinion, but also probably meaning the dance things. I'm sure they spend a lot of time thinking of the name.
That's so funny.
I've been playing with it. It's okay. It's kind of fun. PowerPoints are pretty deadly. It's a little less deadly than a PowerPoint because you have more fluidity on how you do it.
Oh.
Right. So instead of it being like note cards, PowerPoint is like these discrete cards or discrete screens. It's more like storyboarding a movie or something. You can pull in, you pull in these things and.
So basically, you use PowerPoint when you have like some powerful points, and you use Sway when you got to sway something.
You can also, you can change how it you can go horizontal or vertical.
There's so many products that have been out.
But it's free.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I'm going to do this one more time with Community Assist.
Oh.
Do we use the same folder?
Sure.
Well, let's actually make a new folder. I don't know if we get confused. Let's just, so I'll just do a new folder, Community Assist. Excuse me.
I heard that.
I'm not going to share it and see if it works. If it doesn't work, we can fix that.
Oh, okay, so you just will do it.
All right, so, well, maybe I should share it.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think if I don't share it.
Share.
So I'm going to properties.
Share.
Why do these always say read only? I think it's because I have no idea, actually. So I will share it. I have everyone, so I'll add that. And then I'll look at the security, edit, and let everyone write as well, and apply. And hopefully that'll be good enough. So up here, Community Assist, right-click Properties. Actually, we need to make sure it is on full recovery, so that's not a problem. Okay, so transaction log shipping, enable. Backup settings, I think, are okay. What is it not like? Oh, I have to set up the backward settings. So it's Steve dash Zoom on these machines. Community Assist. And then just C : Community Assist. You could, I don't know. I don't know how you would do it on the same machine, same server. I think everything here is okay. And I'll add secondary service instance will be localhost again, or Steve Zoom. Steve Summer is what it's supposed to stand for. That looks okay. Restore options. Do I still have it? I do. So it's the same MSQL. It's the same path we did before. Program files, Microsoft SQL Server, MS SQL Server, MS SQL data. Notice it has LSDemo and LSDemo log there, so it created it.
What?
I'm going to use the same.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm looking at,
Is it or dash?
it should be a dash. Thank you. They would have failed with an underscore. That all looks good. I'm going to try this. I'm just going to try. Okay. Where is this?
Oh, no, I'm trying to copy.
And I could go through that again if you want. I'm just
Yeah.
curious if
this
I'm gonna
one.
refresh. And there's community assist
good.
restoring. So right click, properties, transaction log, shipping. So the first thing to do is the backup settings, which have the Steve Sum Community Assist and the C: Community Assist.
Right.
And then I did OK. And then I did add, right? And you have to do, I don't want to save this, but connect to like localhost. And notice that this goes down here to no secondary database is initialized. That's because I ran it before.
Mm-hmm.
And it is
But
initialized.
you do the first one too.
Do the first
Restore
one, right.
option and copy paste same thing.
And then your copy files, you should put where you want it to go. And what I did was I used the network path. I don't know if it works. The network path for me was Steve-Sum/community assist. And I think that's it. The restore, everything else is pretty much set. And then I did OK, but I'm going to do cancel.
And then restore transaction.
Now the question,
Oh, it's there.
so if I do make a change to one of these tables, I'd have to wait 15 minutes for the backup. I am curious. It looks like it did do it at every 15 minutes. It looks like it backed it up again.
You could do it every 1 minute.
Yeah, that's a bit.
Excessive, sure.
I think we could set that.
Oh.
Can I go back to normally? This one is starting.
Oh, and that's on your normal database.
Yeah.
All right, so right click on it and do tasks restore database. Should pop up the
Can
bottom.
we make a copy? Can we access copy?
Go to options.
No. So the copy file is just a community.
Restore with recovery. You might have to say
And here's
override.
what.
Go ahead and do it.
I love it. Like that.
It should be back.
You didn't make. Oh, backup is going to LS demo.
Well, that was from the other one, right?
Right.
So, because it has been 15 minutes, I wanted to see if it had worked, and it had.
Oh.
There was another one in
So
the
copy
15 minutes.
file is Steve's community assist. When you do when you connect to the server, right, Steve's do you do copy file is Steve's community assist? You go for this one.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. There's LS Community Assist here. If I look at this, actually, let's just look at the history of this job. It's run once. It ran when I did the initial. And that was at 2 p.m., so
12 minutes ago.
yeah, 5 minutes ago by my computer.
Oh, okay.
So in 15 minutes, it should run again.
Okay.
So let's do,
Mine is error.
it did an error. I'll look here in a moment.
So
I'm going to add something to Community Assist. Okay, so let's look. Person is probably the easiest thing to add to. Yeah, maybe not. But I think most of those are nullable. So let's do insert into person. And what we'll want is just person last name, person first name. Okay, what is, everything else is nullable, right? So that's good enough. Part of what I want to do is I just want to see, I'm going to try restoring the log after it ships and see if it has that in it, in the,
for that.
yeah, in the other database. And then, as I said, we'll call it good part for the day. I feel bad, this class always ends so early. I know you don't feel bad.
Raise your hand if you feel bad.
Well, you got things that I thought would take longer, because in the past they have taken longer. So I'm not sure what the difference. You're just fast. You're just good, yeah.
Or it's just another way of teaching class.
Maybe I'm faster. That's a possibility too. But I will come up with some more stuff to fill in the extra time, and you guys can for the next couple of weeks. The project, the presentations, yes.
So it would be nice to have time.
I'm waiting for a few minutes to see if it ships.
Oh, so quickly. So this one you did this community assist?
Yes,
Right? And then it's okay.
yeah,
And then this is the added.
that looks good.
And then just to run it.
Sure, see if it runs. Okay, so you have an error. What is the error?
Just to look up.
Let's look at the.
Only run one at a time. The first one was second.
So it says that it doesn't have the right. Oops. So let's go back to it. So backup settings.
Oh, we have to do it.
That path. Do you have it?
Yeah, in here. So,
Not that path. That's not.
not this one?
These paths are the ones to
Oh,
the
to
SQL
the
Server.
SQL Server one.
Yeah.
Okay, this one.
Just keep doing it.
And then this one, right?
Yes, and then the one,
And then
and the data,
You know, that's that.
and then that half,
And those contracts are
and that's in both cases.
And then that's
That you can
it.
do okay.
a day, a week, so like whatever. But then they also have options where.
Oh, actually, this is the for the folders.
Oh, okay.
But
I
either
was
way,
wrong,
you're
I
still,
was wrong, that's down
like,
under.
even if you're.
So this one would be
The
backslash,
some things, right?
So you
Steve,
can still
dash some,
identify the company, so you work.
So what
I
is
was
the-
misreading it.
Oh, so
Spark filter, you still.
And then this path should just be C,
C and summer things, right?
just C community assist. C colon backslash
Oh.
community assist.
Like, back in my day, you had to use rodents.
And
Yeah, if you don't have two servers, it won't
There was
work.
no,
And that's okay.
there was no machine to listen to.
It did work?
If there was nobody there,
Did you have two servers?
it's different.
Oh,
Okay, just.
I don't know if you can wind them. It worked. Yeah, you have to install, you have to do an install. Yeah. You have to do a new install SQL Server, yes.
so you doing for the restore option, you do this one, right?
Yes,
Oh, all right.
yes.
And then this one is fine, Steve, and the community assist.
That looks fine,
And
yes.
then copy file is this one, right? Community
Yes,
assist.
yes, that looks good.
And then this
That
one, you
looks
don't have to
good.
worry about it, and then okay.
And then it
And
should
then
just
it
be
should be
okay.
okay, right? I
Yeah.
don't need anything. So this is clean.
Why is it clean? Can't find the path.
Oh, you know what? I'm maybe opening, oh wait. Connecting for the different,
it's-
no, but
it's-
I'm
No,
opening
no,
this
that
one.
should be
That
all
be
right.
fine, right?
It just says it can't find that path.
That's
Then
the,
Should
you
I
have-
be?
I think that's a backup.
Looks like it's C.
You know how there was two sons? There was backup and snapshot.
It's there, it's
Let me
community
see.
assist.
Oh, do I need to make a file? No.
So just looking to see, this is the spread, right? Looks everything looks good.
Yeah, it's different. Thank you.
I don't know why it's not seeing community assist.
Database snapshot.
Maybe copy this path.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
That's
you
why.
still need the slash,
So,
I think,
Okay,
to share, but that's weird.
yeah.
2 more minutes and it should copy, and then I'll do a restart. I should have set it for 10 minutes or 5 minutes this way. I have a headache.
Uh-oh.
It's all right. I just didn't get enough coffee in the right sequence.
I was thinking. we need to go.
What happened with your brain?
The freight train ahead of us hit a truck.
That's crazy.
So that blocks the rails for quite a while. I was curious. They haven't said that the tracks are open
Massage it all
again.
the way down.
Yeah, they haven't updated since this morning, which is odd.
Oh, wow.
They just said it, long delays. The conductor told us to expect an hour to 2 hour delay, but I haven't heard anything getting.
Wow.
So we scrambled for buses, which is buses that are used to having 5 or 10 people suddenly have 200 on them. One more minute. Usually the train is more reliable than the buses,
Yeah.
but
No.
yeah, there's only got what?
It causes people to
Get stuck in traffic, yes. These days, the buses from south, anyway, I mean, it's a pretty rough ride in. It's a worse ride home in terms of traffic. And no, the train says limited time, so it depends. Like a lot of times, my job won't allow the schedule won't fit the train, so I have to take the buses. But I get car sick on the buses. I don't get car sick on the train.
No, super fast, and that's
All right, I want to see if this ran.
how was it? Okay, tell me.
It was delicious. It was like
Yeah, it's working now.
gummy
It's so
bears
funny.
Okay.
wrapped in Belgian chocolate.
Yeah.
No, that was yeah, that didn't sound that appetizing.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
How about a midnight summer breeze somewhere in the Mediterranean
Okay, yeah.
with the sounds of like what are those the Italian singer dudes at the gondolas.
Well, the gondoliers.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, those guys.
Gondoliers.
No, I couldn't think of it because I was imagining the Scooby-Doo
No.
one.
This is
There's one where there's a gondolier that's a bad guy.
Yeah, I guess that is.
Anyways.
okay, good. It's working.
So
Good story.
Yeah, I know. Cool story, bro.
It's working.
it worked. It ran. I'm just curious if I can restore it here.
Oh, for the file, so you can see it. For the running, for somebody else should be.
So it restored. It's no longer. It's no longer log shipping. So I'm going to. Actually, I just want a new query from it.
Okay, yeah, you're welcome.
Select star.
No, me too. Don't do that. I know. I'm surprised with you.
So it doesn't look like it caught the last bit though.
Are you restoring that one or the one?
No, I restored the one in.
The original
Okay,
one.
hold on. Let's see.
Yeah, but it's copying it for the file. So
Well, it should have the
copy
original
that.
one. I thought I did the insert on the original one.
Oh, I thought you did the insert after.
I did the insert.
Thank you.
So, but I waited for another log ship. Maybe I didn't wait long enough for another log ship. I mean, it was there, but maybe not enough for it to.
Maybe it'll be on the next one.
Well, it won't log ship now because I restored it.
So is this one, is it Andy going to also is working this one?
No, but that was the one that wanted,
No, definitely.
Bishop.
So Julia, overseas. So you have to go to Gobi. I was thinking maybe this is your.
I saw.
So that's 50%. I was like,
Probably do. Stay.
No, this place.
what is the name?
It's gonna make it.
Collaborative.
Oh, no.
Yes, I know to ask.
How about he finding jobs? It's like, okay, let's look at it, just do it.
Too long, sir.
I didn't do it. At least.
I have to make a Japanese.
Come back in. Okay. That's what we should like. We should send that to
Yeah, this is the comparison between like each agreement standard. Beginning with the
Right, the middle.
I wonder, there might be,
Here's all this information that makes us money.
See, there's a front end and the developer.
Do it.
there might be more to coming back up than just starting now.
Oh, man.
All right, well, that's enough for that. I'll figure out a couple more things and tell you. The book doesn't go beyond just doing the log shipping. So we've got like 2 weeks left,
Yeah.
and next week is what we were going to do the presentations.
Yeah,
Okay,
and then the midterm and the final in the
they're just little things.
little thing.
I
Yeah.
did the big ones. I did the final.
And I'm not being too picky about them, so. I guess that's it. So next week we'll do that. I'll also bring up some stuff to fill in any gaps. And the very last week, because there's not a lot of people, it probably will be a long time for presentations. Think of what you want to cover, in that very last week, and I'll try to cover that.
Next Thursday presentations.
Yeah, next Thursday was presentations, I think. And if they go into the Monday or the Tuesday after that, that'd be all right. But we don't have a lot of time left, but there's still enough time that I'll have some stuff to fill in. As I said, this went a lot faster than I had expected, and I'm not sure why. The other class is going about as I expected. A lot of troubleshooting for particularly the. That is true. Other summers I've had like 20 people, which makes a huge difference in terms of time. This is a good size in terms of you guys all being able to work together and stuff, which is nice. But
I'll see you guys.
yeah.